70 years ago, the world was in turmoil. During World War II, Jews were exterminated. Chinese were massacred. Thousands of innocent people saw their world destroyed. After the Holocaust, never again was on everyone's lips.
There have been two stampedes last night. You may have 100 people dead, stampeded, or dead from horrific wounds.
In the rush for the border, another 50 deaths were reported, mostly children trampled in the stampede.
20 years ago, in 1994, the promise of never again quickly faded when Rwanda was overtaken by the genocide perpetrated against Tutsis. In only 100 days, 1 million Rwandans were slaughtered. Neighbors killing neighbors, their social structure was destroyed solely based upon prejudice and hysteria.
Over 1 million have come so far, desperately straining the facilities of the border town of Goma and facing the threat of epidemic and panic because of water and food shortages.
Although this may feel like an African event, strange and unimaginable, Americans are not exempt from this phenomenon. In 1942, the United States government incarcerated Americans solely based on their race. Harsh discrimination tore families' lives apart. My family was one of them. Stephen Smith is the executive director of the USC Shoah Foundation. They have archived over 53,000 testimonies of genocide survivors.
I had a chance to talk to some perpetrators, and in particular did a short study on killing at Morambi. 5 perpetrators, none of them had a predisposition to violence before. One of them actually, on the first day in which the local Tutsis were rounded up and put on the school, went down to the fence to provide food and water to them. 2 days later he was killing the same people.
Prejudice and hysteria led to the forced evacuation of 110,000 Japanese Americans to internment camps. They were only allowed to bring 2 suitcases with them, and many were forced to sell their belongings for pennies on the dollar. My great-grandfather owned a produce stand in Larchmont Village, Los Angeles. Having sold all his property, he wanted to keep his cargo truck. A Jewish American neighbor agreed to hold it indefinitely, not knowing whether he would see my great-grandfather again. And after 4 long years of war, his friend, true to his word, returned the truck, enabling my family to rebuild their life. Even in moments of darkness, there are points of light. Standing up to the roaming gangs of murderers, Paul Rusesabagina chose to protect the innocent. He saved over 1,000 people from certain death at the Hotel de Micolin.
Surviving in itself is a mission, because beside protecting people, I was also organizing with the army. I had networks. I was sending them, a group of soldiers, to go into people's roofs to see whether they were still alive, pick them up, bring them to the hotel. That was the way I was doing. And I wish I could have done much more than what I did.
There are many people who have tried to bridge the divide. They're the unsung heroes, if you like, because at a time when this could be falling apart, they're holding it together. That's what inspires me to remain involved in it, because I meet the real people who are kind of dealing with that on a daily basis. That's where societies are made. That's where the future really lies. And if they can get it together, then the future has a chance. And it's tremendously inspiring.
Hearing these stories made me wonder how I could help my neighbor. When I heard my school was going to Rwanda, I wondered what I could do. Though Rwanda has made great strides since the genocide, they still face fundamental problems that are common throughout the world. Over 780 million people in the world do not have access to clean drinking water, equivalent to twice the population of the United States. Waterborne illnesses claim 3.4 million lives every year, more than any war claims through guns. I knew what I had to do. I took a dozen water filters and demonstrated how to use them at a local women's cooperative called Aspire Rwanda. After I left, the water filters were taken to a village where people turned dirty water into clean, potable water. They sent me these pictures through Facebook. Today, social media plays a major role in informing people of the world's turmoils. But I wondered, could it be used to make a personal change? Water filters are inexpensive. The challenge is getting them to people in need. Since returning, I founded the Clean Water Ambassadors Foundation. Our goal is to connect with people traveling to places in need of clean water. At no real cost, they can bring water filters to our global nonprofit partners. Instead of imploring governments to make change, regular citizens can make a difference. Just like that neighbor who helped my great-grandfather. Next time you travel, take some of our filters with you. Or find a need of your own and fill it. After all, that's what good neighbors do.
namusomeje intango ntiyabibona murya n'ikinyunguti ntiyabimenya reka muhe n'ibiceri magana newe na ndebe ko yapfa gutanga umutuzo yiwe iki kintu ko mbona kimbangamiye ko mbona kindebera umugore cyane nibikomeza nge turapfa ubusa cyangwa se mumena urusenda mu maso nze niri igikwembu kimutambike mufubike ntambonera umugore